Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Inkbound. We are playing through with our Moss Cloak and we're doing pretty well actually. I'm liking the build that we've got together. We're going to push on and see what we find in the third area. Arglass Lair. Okay, that's not interactable, but this is. Let's just break the stuff that they've got in their lair. This kind of looks like a... kind of feels a bit like a kid's playground combined with a raft / pier. I don't know. Feels a little strange. Hard combat encounter, heroic vault, and an ancient vault. Now, is this going to be straight into the boss fight? It looks like it goes on elsewhere, so... Ooh, yeah, that's like a jack-in-the-box thing. And a chompy. Sorry, ink-in-a-box, not jack-in-a-box. Right. We've done this dance, this deadly dance of death many times before. We'll try and take this ink-in-a-box out quickly. Go like this. The main reason we want to is because each turn it's increasing the attack and shield of all enemies and then creating a new minion, so it kind of has to go. So increase our omni damage, then we'll get a relentless barrage. Wow, that's actually going to kill the barbed banshee straight off. And then if we move in and grab that, killed the second. And we can kill the ink in the box as well. For a hard combat encounter, we're doing alright, I'd say. Let's just stand out the way of this guy. Let his friends appear. And all our cooldowns have reset. So we're kind of going to do that again. We're going to come in like this. Hit them massively. Now it looks like he's going to hit in an area. Let's move down a little. Grab this. What's going to do the most? Ricochet will actually do 120 to him directly, which is significantly boosted. Restoration won't do nearly as much. So that's what we want to do. We want to keep smacking him down. Died from that smite at the start of every turn. Okay, let's get Battle Cry in place. So, if we were to do this as like a huge ricochet thing, it's not quite going to be enough. If we come down here and dash through all three of these... Oh, they all get marked as well. Then we can kill three of them. Bang! And then the smites just took out the remaining one. Ooh, a big vestige. Window to Eternal Longing. On your turn, restore 1 hit point or restoring a hit point. It gains 10 physical damage up to 3 times per turn. This has got the potential to really make you quite powerful. On your turn, inflict prey on a random enemy. Devoured prey gives 10% stacking damage. It's interesting, but it's not amazing. On gaining crit, gain 3 stacks of Shattered Will. I don't know if we really want to swap anything out, though, for these. Potentially the Vow Mark. But the rest of them are all good. We've got money. We could re-roll and see what the other options appear. Another Tempest's Wrath. That would give even more damage with Storm King. We're up to 6 at the moment. We'd need 2 more Storm Kings to to really turn that. Yeah, on smiting an enemy, inflict marks. So every turn we're marking all enemies. That's why this is so good. And for Mythos, we've only got one. Getting another Warden isn't really going to help us. Because it's magic damage, let's get rid of the Vow Mark. And we'll swap it over. Cool. Reduce the cost of a random binding. That's going to help. Allow us to do more stuff in a turn, which, given we're low on the stuff, is always useful. And we have another vestige in here that we're probably just going to leave. Yeah, I don't really like any of these for what we've got going on. A Silence Metronome could potentially be replaced. Yeah. So effectively we swapped the Silence Metronome with the Tempest Wrath. Means we're not going to be at Storm King level 8 by the end, but that's fine. I wonder if we can come back to this after we've done everything else. Pick it up. So what have we got going on in Carver's place? Okay. Let's go grab... Has it fallen by the wayside? It might have fallen by the wayside. Which would be a shame if it has. I'm glad we were able to swap it back over though. We can't afford to call forth another vestige, as much as I would love some of those. So we'll just leave. I like that you can actually see them on the thing in front of it. That's really nice. We don't need to heal up.
You're gonna buy something or just keep gawking like that?
And this would be to gain the sets permanently, but I don't think we really need it. I think our set really works as it is. So, the Terror of the Inky Depths, the villain battle. What an interesting place. Oh, is it going to come out of there? That's epic. Ah. Okay. Arglath, Terror of the Inky Depths. So Leviathan is 50% damage resistant when hit directly, but receives 100% of the damage dealt to tentacles. So we're going to be focusing on the tentacles. Let's get our battle cry on the go. Dash through those two. Now he may take 50% damage, but we can still hit him with everything. And I want to grab this, but we're not quite in range. There we go. Okay, he's got an inky exoskeleton. The more you hit the tentacles, the more damage reduction they get. That's kind of cool. But we have killed 2 of the tentacles. And he's not quite at phase change yet. I think that's all we can do this turn. More tentacles. More tentacles means more fun. Deadly Dance. It's a bit sketchy, but we might be able to like angle ourselves up that way. And then kind of stab back to these two. And then get them killed, come up, grab that. And hit him directly and get more poison stacks on these two. Or go for poison stacks on all three of the poison stacks on all three. That's what we do. Ooh, the next one's going to be a critical. Okay, battle cry from the start. I think we might just have to suck it up and not get everything we want this turn. So we're going to dash it across the back. Let's get the Relentless Smackaroonie. That was free because of our battle cry. We'll hit it again. More damage done quite nicely. Okay, we'll grab this so that we can do the Relentless Barrage back the other direction. We are taking a bit of damage from being in this pool, so we're going to want to leave that. Bit of restoration. Ooh. Inflict snare to all players until the end of turn, stacking up to 4 times. So we are slowed by 5, I see. We are stuck, but that's fine. Because our mobility isn't really done by our movement. It is a bit, but it's not massively. So let's dash down for you. Get both of those hit. We're going to take a bit of damage this turn. Can't say I like it. Oh wow, it was the beam. That'll definitely do it. Okay, let's move out of the way of as much of the damage as possible. Get decent damage off there. Get another smack that way, and we'll try and get in a position where we'll be able to dash across a bit more centrally next turn. Okay, Deadly Dance dash. Step back a teeny bit, grab this. Ooh. Do the battle cry, because that's going to improve our global damage. It's almost up to double damage completely now. If we do that, we actually hit all 3 of them. There we go. And we have vanquished Argalath, Terror of the Inky Depths. That gave us a decent amount of money. A hell of a lot of damage. Wow. This build really worked well. And 258 shield applied. That's just an insanely large amount. I have to say, I like the combination of doing stuff, giving smite. That really worked well for us. Ooh. What's this? I assume if you've got like poses and stuff you can change. Be curious. So, we have 1 as the Moss Cloak. 3 levels gained. We're going to want to grab progression rewards. Don't care about the cosmetics. So, KG's Cage is unlocked. Use a trinket key to unlock a trinket at the cabinet. Ah! We're definitely going to want to try that. Flaming Fist on hitting, inflict a stack of burn. And Death Scythe on defeating an enemy. This vestige gains 1 max hit point. Interesting. We can't get that yet, but that's definitely going to be one that we get next. Oh, do we get the cosmetics as well? Oh my god, if we get the cosmetics as well. No. No, we don't. I think it's just periodically. Well, let's have a look at our quests just quickly. So, orders of the Inkbound, gifted trinkets. We now need to go back to the Athenium in order to finish that off, so we'll do that. Rebuilding the Athenium, we've got a few things to carry on doing here. Got to go back to Garden's Edge, which we'll do next time. Aspect of the Lost Binders, we need to speak to the Stigmatist. And we've already done the Needless of the Ink. Okay. So while we're here, we will have a chat with you in a moment, but let's have a look and see if we can see where those trinkets might be. It's actually giving us 2 indicators, of course. So let's head across this way. Yeah. Hi.
Ah, I'm sorry. There I was, going on about forms and aspects, and you likely have no inkling clue what they are.
I've kind of figured it out.
Well, your form is your look, of course. You look great already, I'll admit, but there's no shame in ever wanting to mix things up. Aspects, though, they're the real thrillers, distilled essences of lost binders. You might not be able to create new bindings on your own Needless, but these aspects will give you a class of bindings uniquely suited to whatever dangers you're facing.
Like the Moss Cloak.
I know it's a bit hard to understand just by talking about it, so go ahead and take a peek at that aspect apparatus and reform enclosure over there.
We've already done that, but we'll click on it anyway. And yeah, it's just giving us the options. Although, we may as well change to the Weaver, so we're ready for next time. And let's have a look at this. You almost miss the cabinet of trinkets placed neatly in the Athenium, as if it had always been there. As you open the doors, you catch a whiff of lacquer on the wooden panels. Inside sits a note, next to several perfectly crafted carvings and other artifacts of renown. Threw in some extra goodies for you. Some made, some found. Figured it'd look a little sad and empty otherwise, and I didn't want those binders thinking my works either. Carver. Ooh. So we can equip a trinket for a run. After defeating a Guardian, increase 3 random sets by 1. That's interesting. When defeating Guardians or more dangerous minions, randomly gain crit chance. Each dive, the first time discovering covers refuge, vestigial shine, binding empowerment, or sea breach, you gain money. Smoke bomb grasp and quicken are more likely to show up in binding drafts. After using them 10 times, reduce their base cooldowns permanently by 1. Ooh. This is an interesting one. Because we have a key, we can unlock another specific one. 1 bonus molten set. Incendiary will show up in binding drafts. 1 bonus Everfrost, 1 bonus Venomous, 1 bonus Pincushion. Lose hit points, gain shielding. While above 20%, 20 hit points, defeating minions gives 2 omni damage and -1. That seems painful. When an enemy dies, 35% chance to gain Quillings. When a Guardian dies, gain Glyph. Gain 1 glyph when discovering the carver or binding empowerment during draft. Each reroll has a high chance to increase the rarity. Let's go for the Blessing of Quills. I do like these as options. Oh, there's going to be so many fun ones to unlock. I love that the infinite potential just kind of forces you to alternate back and forth. Same with the Dial of Fate. This encourages you to stand in those purple goo bits. That's interesting. -1 will collecting an orb gives mitosis, which creates an additional orb next turn. Clips of Extraction seems odd. Not sure how it would end up playing out, but we've got one selected. It wanted us to hop in here. We've done this before. We like how we look. Hey. Looking for some powerful aspects, are you, Needless? Well, I've got one that might blow those others straight out of the ink. Ever heard of an aspect called the Chainbreaker? Figured not. Not something those left around here like acknowledging. Yours a bad place if you're not careful. Lots of angry gods and pissed off heroes looking to make their mark. That aspect, though, is one from a binder named Samuel. Was one of, if not the best binder around, until he up and left to start his own little band of baddies. So if you want his aspect, you're going to need to get his attention. That's an interesting one. Shouldn't be too hard. Just collect a few goodies for his merry band and make some noise. So we need to win a combat encounter with at least 2 of the Shadow Vestige set. This is where the game is going to start to become interesting. I mean, it's already interesting, but there's a lot more depth to it than I originally thought when we started. Okay, well, we still need to speak to... Do I need to return here?
Lots of potential,
yeah, there we go.
right? Lots of power, too, in the right hands. Now, I can't just go inscribing new aspects on just anyone, even if I did have them. Got to know they can handle it first. So if you can show me you're worth the ink, I'll make sure those aspects are right and ready. Well, that attitude sure is a good start, but you'll be needing to prove it to more than just me. Go on, see if you can wrangle those missing aspects from the others.
Well, we've already got one on the go. Hello. It's wonderful to be back here. It's been too long since we've smelled fresh ink and musty parchment. Hey, brother. He's a quiet one, he is. Which means I'm left to run my mouth, but I'm not complaining. Oh, ho, ho. Well, I assume it's all the bright little baubles that brought you over, eh? Can't say I blame you, though. It's kind of the point, huh? Well, he does have a few things. And a bell that we can't do anything with. It's nice to see the place fleshing out a little. Interesting.
If you need something tinkered with, let me know. But since I know you don't, leave me alone.
Can we... Right. Okay. So we're learning a little bit as we go. Right. You are noticeably drier than someone with your propensity for diving into the inkwell time and time again. Have you finally realised your inconsequential role with this struggle? Oh, ink save me, have you finally learned some manners? Perhaps there is hope for you yet, Needless. The tiniest, most infinitesimally small sliver of hope. Well, I think we've probably seen all we can at the moment without unlocking some more things, but I'm really enjoying Inkbound. So we're going to be pushing on. We'll pick up with the Weaver next time, and ooh, no, one little thing here.
You approach the Inkbound study, but no better than to attempt any contact with the supposed savior from behind the solid doors. That doesn't stop you from listening for any activity, however, for any sign of salvation or progress towards it. The silence is deafening.
Such a good phrase. Well, we are going to finish up there. So thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I do hope you have enjoyed this. As always, if you have, be sure to give a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for another episode of Inkbound. See you soon.